Reseller Clickbait Podcast, episode 55.
Oh, what's going on, Ken? This is Jimmy, Old School Flips, here with Ken, SSKPromo, the Reseller Clickbait Podcast. And today's going to be a special episode. It's a special episode.
It is. Oh, it's a special. I didn't know. I didn't have that in my notes.
Yeah, it's special because
we're gonna have some
things we're going to talk about, but we're going to...
I know why it's special.
Well, why?
I know why it's special. Hold on.
I know you know why. I know you know why.
Change my hat.
That's not even where I was going with this, but yeah.
Here today, it is Jimmy's birthday. We're recording this on Sunday evening. It'll come out tomorrow morning, but I just found out today, like mid-afternoon, it was Jimmy's birthday today. Yep. How could that be? You've been in town now for like over two full weeks, and we were together like Thursday, like for several hours on Thursday, on Saturday, and then today I wake up and I see all these happy birthdays on Facebook, and it's like, so I thought I'd wear for those of you that are just listening, I got my birthday cake hat on. It's got a little candle up there, got some birthday cake in the back here.
I didn't forget it was my birthday, but I've been so busy I didn't pay any attention to the fact that my birthday was right around the corner. Yeah. And just
happy birthday, Jimmy.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
To you. So
41. No.
Yeah, you look like hell for 41 years old, Jimmy.
I look like Sonya told me that she doesn't want me to have this. She wants me to darken this some. She doesn't like all the gray in my little.
Well, we should explain this to people that are just
my little goatee.
Your goatee, okay? Because when you just say Sonya wants me to darken this, and with no explanation for the listeners, but
she said to dye my. Oh dang! You went all out.
Oh, happy birthday balloon!
Yeah, but that's not why it's special. Because
okay.
Again, I've been so busy, so much going on. I'm the one that does most of the responses to the comments on YouTube.
Yeah,
and and there was a bunch of them this week, and I haven't had a chance to type out responses. So I was like, Ken, can we just bring up the comments in the videos and respond to them in the podcast? Like, because we both know when someone brings up one of our comments in their live or their pre-recorded or whatever it is, we love it when they bring up our comment that we made on their video.
Yes, exactly. So your comment, we love getting the comments, and I try to respond. I looked at them, but I'm not sure if Jimmy's going to do it first or whatever, and so I dropped the ball as well. And not that you dropped the ball, you were understandably busy. Second week, you're still still unpacking, getting moved in.
He's a lazy podcast host, is what he is. No, so stick around is why I wanted to say that now.
Yeah.
If you left a comment, stick around either way, but stick around. We're going to go through every comment from last week in this video. We're going to kind of dedicate a big part of this podcast to
the viewers,
going over those comments.
So I think there were 306 total comments. Oh, wait, maybe not.
Yeah, so
maybe not that
this
many.
podcast is going to be a 7-hour podcast.
No, but it was a good week. So your second week here in Ohio was good. Yep. I know you picked up some really good stuff. How are you finding then in your second week? I know the first week was really good.
Yeah.
How are you finding the sourcing at yard sales, garage sales as compared to Denver? I mean, we kind of talked about that last
weekend. It was another good weekend. I will say less sales because of the holiday, Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
There wasn't as many sales. The picking was good at the ones I went to. But, so the biggest thing I noticed this weekend, being in a small town an hour away from the big city, I had to take that hour drive to the bigger city to pick because there wasn't a lot out here in the small town.
Yes.
So, but we did make that drive and it went well. We did good.
Good. Yeah, Jimmy's calling dibs on cities now. Yeah. I got to let people know
Westerville is mine, bud.
He's calling dibs from. I watched your new video, Jimmy. Go over and watch on Old School Flips. Jimmy has a new video.
I got a 1 out
of
10 going right now. That's a 1 out of 10. It's almost to 1,000 views already, and it's not even out 24 hours.
It's so for me, that's really good. driving around, and Jimmy's, he's calling dibs on stuff from the car. We're not even out of the car yet.
Makes for a good video. Makes for a good
dibs
video.
on it does. So I need to put out the like either the companion or the other side video, because I was recording that as well, just to really show how Jimmy's knocking people down and calling dibs, from the street.
We were supposed to do an intro to that video, and so I was like,
we didn't do that either.
Throw them together because we never recorded an intro.
But hey, you brought up something there. Today is Monday. Today is Memorial Day. If you're listening, when this, well, no, today's Sunday. Today's Jimmy's birthday.
I'm tired. I told you I'm
when
tired.
you are watching this on Monday, it is Memorial Day, and so
proud of myself correcting you. I was like, no, you're wrong, Ken.
Want to give a salute and a thank you to everyone that has served this country, so that we can that had served, that is currently serving, that we can do what we do, that we have the freedoms in this country to do the job that we do, or any job that you may do if you're not a reseller or whatever. But thank you for your service. If you're active or former military and any of the branches, thank you for your service. I wanted to get that out here right away. But so your picking was good this weekend as well. I know you picked up some getting the house furnished. I know you picked up some cool furniture. On a Facebook Marketplace deal.
Sonya scored a great couch and recliner. I'm calling it the best pick of Ohio so far.
Your furniture, your living room furniture.
It's high quality, expensive stuff.
It is.
You got to sit in it. Yeah.
I got to sit on. Oh, it's got the couch has like the recliners on both ends that are like the electric. You just sit there, and it's recline back, and you can do the headrest separate from the. Oh man, I was gonna take a nap, and I was gonna take a nap, much like Jimmy at the movies today. Jimmy went out with the family to the, and he's like, "Oh, it's Guardians of the Galaxy 3, right? You went to see," and he's like, "I like the movie, but all of a sudden, Sonya was like nudging him, like, you're snoring."
She said, "You're snoring, Jimmy."
And you would think it just
Superman.
You would think it just 41 years old, Jimmy. Wink, wink. That you wouldn't be tuckered out and sleeping in the movie theater.
Something caught up to me. I was so tired. I could not keep my eyes open, and I was enjoying the movie. Like, it's a good movie.
Yes,
it's fun.
I want to see it.
Story.
I haven't seen it yet.
Sonya cried through the whole movie.
Oh, you should ruin it right now. We're not going to call spoiler alert. Just tell the ending.
No,
don't do that.
No, Sonya cries over everything.
Okay.
So she cried the whole movie.
Okay.
She looked like Rocky Balboa at the end of the fight by the end of the movie.
Cut me, Mick.
Yeah, she was all swole up in her eyes and stuff.
Don't you throw in that towel, Mick. I'm gonna cut me, Mick. Yeah. So you were telling me, Sonya got the good Facebook deal.
Yeah.
Sonya's a crybaby, obviously. But also she had some sort, I don't know this story, some sort of an experience with her first, the first week of having to take packages here in Ohio.
Sonya, so just remember that Sonya did really good getting the couch. So there's some good parts of this about her too. She did great. She scored that couch. She coordinated going to pick it up and all that stuff. And she got it to the house with the help of our boys. And I just want to make sure before we go into no.
Yes, Sonya does have some.
We made fun of her for crying at the movies.
Yes,
so first trip to the CVS pharmacy to drop off UPS. That's where we drop off our UPS packages.
Okay,
and so kind of to set up the story. We went that morning before we took them in. We went to the post office first, walked in there, talked to them, asked them how they preferred us to do this and that. Do they want us to schedule a pickup at our house or bring it down there or whatever? They said either or, blah, blah, blah. Then we went to CVS and we went in there and asked them, hey, we're dropping off UPS here. We're probably going to do it daily. What do you recommend? And they're like, well, they don't pick up until after 2.
Okay.
So they said if it's a big box, try not to bring it in closer to 2, because the one thing she's like, the one thing I can tell you is in their contract they cannot be here before 2. So as long as you come a little bit before 2, you'll be fine. And so it was that big Snorlax beanbag that I
had
said.
Yes.
This box was huge. So we were like, okay, well then, and this was early in the morning. So like, we won't leave it with you now then. So he's like, I'll bring it back just before 2.
Okay.
So it's loaded in the car, it's already loaded in the car, and we went home, and Sonya's like, okay, I'm going to go back to CVS. I'm going to take that big box to CVS.
Yes.
And I'm down here editing a video. I'm working down here in the basement. She was gone for a while. I'm like, what the heck? She's been gone for a while. And so then later the next day, we're getting in the car to go somewhere. So, did you notice that I took a while yesterday going to the CVS? I'm like, yeah, I did notice. You took a while. What was that?
Okay.
Yeah, I took the wrong car. She took the car that didn't have the Snorlax in it to CVS. So she had to come back home. She went all the way to CVS, parked, realized she was in the wrong car that didn't have Snorlax in it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Drive back home, get the other car with the Snorlax in it. So yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? You gotta love her, right?
Oh, that's hilarious.
That was a really long story for that.
Yeah, that was a very long story for the punchline. But I feel her pain. I've done that where, I'll take packages and just forget to drop them off. I'll get all the way back home and go, oh man, one of my errands was, especially on days it's like yard sailing days, because I'll get my stuff ready in the morning, throw it in the car, and I'm going to drop it off and then I get back from, a long day, I'm tuckered out, and it's like, now I'm unloading my stuff from the sales, and there's the pile of packages. I have to go back out. Now, I only have one vehicle. I haven't ever taken the wrong vehicle.
Well, I'll give her a little pass, because that's our car that has the temporary tags on it from Colorado.
Yes.
So we're not driving that car until we get Ohio tags at that point. And so she knew not to take that car, but Snorlax didn't fit in the Honda. It was too big.
Oh, okay.
So she was doing the right thing by taking that car to avoid getting pulled over or whatever. So yeah, that was a fun story there.
Fun facts with Sonya.
We should do our first comment. I think we should do our first comment. We'll jump back and forth, but let's do a comment.
First comment that was up. Wait, should I start from the bottom? Because that's where they were, right?
Yes.
That's where they started. Larry, way out one.
Larry,
way out one. Just his comment was, gentlemen, with sarcasm in effect, that we're not apparently we're not as gentlemanly.
Question mark. Like, he was asking, was he asking us if our sarcasm was in effect? Or is he doing sarcasm in effect? Because he did a question mark.
Yes.
So it would be read, gentlemen, sarcasm in effect? So
yes, it would be.
So he's asking us then, right? Or
that
are we just being sarcastic right now?
I don't know. I think we might be, because I don't get that either. Yeah, that's but
we don't do math and we don't do read here.
We don't. Yes, we don't do read. Cajun Reseller has never heard of United Dairy Farmers either. We were talking about the pineapple milkshakes and going to the United Dairy Farmers,
and Sonya not liking the she don't like those two.
Sonya, all of a sudden, Sonya is not having a very good time with in public.
No,
in town, in your new hometown, she's gonna blow up all your your good spots. United Dairy Farmers, the CVS is gonna groan every time she pulls into the parking lot.
I had never heard of it either, though. So I mean, I hear you, Chris. Like, I thought it was like, I thought you would go in there and it'd be like some kind of
milk a cow or something,
or like live cows or some kind of. You remember on your favorite movie, Napoleon Dynamite, when they're out there at the chicken farm and stuff? I thought it was something like that.
No, I don't remember that, Jimmy, because I'm not even sure I made it all the way through Napoleon Dynamite.
That's a great movie. No, at Roosters today. We went to that Roosters.
Oh, yes.
Guess what song was playing when I walked in the door?
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Your favorite song.
Mbop?
Mbop
by Handset?
Yep.
Yes.
Walk in the door and Mbop was playing. Sorry, I just
See, how could you have not enjoyed your time there when the first thing you get is Mbop?
Yep.
The greatest song ever written.
The greatest. So, sorry, your favorite movie reminded me of your favorite song right there, and I heard that today. So, yeah.
So, and Simply Shenanigans, Shanna said she loved the Chiba Hut. Now, last week, Jimmy had some stuff behind him to soak up the sound. I see that you're still kind of blank on that wall.
Yeah,
right there.
We don't have. Yeah, it's a lot of work, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
eBay's up and running. The office just isn't decorated yet.
That's cool. And how has your now that you've got? We'll talk about that for a second. Now that you've got your store kind of back up and you've been listing some of the new stuff that you've got, how is your store doing after being, what was it off, like 10 days or almost 2 weeks,
10
right?
days.
10 days.
10 days. Yeah.
Has it picked back up to previous levels?
No, because I don't have enough listings, but sales are good.
Okay.
It's, I'm definitely happy with the little spark that I've given it, and sales are definitely good enough.
Okay.
They're just not back to what I'm used to because I'm still down to half the listings I used to have.
Half as many listings as you
But the new inventory is helping a lot. I've sold a lot of the stuff I just listed.
Oh, perfect.
The store is definitely back up and running and doing well. Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. That's, to shut your store down for that long.
Yeah.
With the move. And then I know that was one of your concerns was getting that store back up and hence no decoration behind you.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. That's going to be a couple weeks, I think. It's going to be a couple weeks before we start seeing the toys go back up right here.
So the eBay's been interesting. I got my first VERO this week. We'll talk a little eBay now that we're talking. I got my first ever VERO from eBay. For those of you who might not know what a VERO is, they are I forget even what it stands for, but they're
idea.
They're items that you're not allowed to list on eBay, like a P90X, beach body stuff, or you can't say Velcro or you put Velcro. Those are like VEROs, and that items will take you down. So I get this message. So I talked about this last week. So it's been about a week or so ago that I get a message from eBay telling me that I had a VERO and that they had taken my listing down because it could be a fraud. It could be, the company that for the product that took it down didn't want that listing up there.
All right.
And it
so real quick, it's verified rights owner program.
The verified rights owner. So different companies they don't want you selling their products on eBay or reselling stuff or misrepresenting their items. And so eBay sent me this notification that they had taken my listing down.
Now, did you get in any trouble? Did they I got suspended once before a long time ago, and I've heard of other people getting suspended for VEROs.
I did not get suspended or any, it was just basically we took it down. And we're sure that this probably was an oversight or a misunderstanding, or you didn't know that it wasn't an intentional listing a product that that I wasn't.
I want to see how long we can talk about a VERO without you actually telling us what the item was.
About as long as it took for you to tell Sonya's Snorlax UPS story.
Hey.
Okay. So anyway, the product was
you all right there?
Yeah, I'll be okay. I don't know what the heck.
Typing
no, stuff was rolling off my desk all of a sudden. Okay, I've got it all pushed back there.
Me rolling away on my chair.
Jimmy's chair on the floor. He didn't have a rug on his head. They had a rug behind his chair.
We were getting ready to record, and I just kept rolling away.
It's like I can't hear you. What's going on? Next thing you know, he's like his chair's turned back by the wall. He's facing the other direction. So anyway, my VERO. Norwex. Norwex is a company
or Wax?
Wex, Norwex.
Okay, never heard of that.
Norwex, and they sell like not terry, like microfiber dishcloths and towels, and they like cleaning supplies and cleaning stuff, and it's almost like one of those like a multi-level marketing thing where you're a Norwex representative and you sell stuff to people. Well, I had that was the product. I had actually one. Now you got to tell me if this is bad. You can tell me in comments here as well.
It's bad.
Jill and I had went to a banquet where they were selling raffle tickets for baskets that people had donated.
Yep.
And I bought some raffle tickets to help support the event, and I was picked as a winner. I was like the second ticket pick to win something.
You won Norway.
So being a true reseller, I went up to the table because you could pick which item that you wanted.
You weren't scanning items up there, were you? Did you have
your phone out I scanning every basket? No, I didn't. But I looked and I thought, which of these baskets? Because there wasn't a lot of. There was like baskets full of snacks and some things for like local gift cards and stuff for local businesses that I wasn't going to frequent. So I looked around and I was like, okay, which basket of these has the best?
Pick a basket, sir. On
reselling. Scanning barcodes.
Sir, you're gonna have to pick faster than that. Beep.
And I knew that Norwex was a good brand of stuff. I did not know that it was a VERO type of item.
Right.
But to get to the point, here was the interesting part. eBay sends me a message. They have taken down my listing through the VERO program.
Yeah.
The issue was I had sold the item like 15 days earlier. It had not been listed for 15 days.
So what did they take down? Did you have multiple quantities or anything?
No, I had the one listing because that was the coolest basket that was still left up there on the table and had the highest resale potential.
And it actually let you know that you did something that was not.
And that must have been it. So we
took down your listing even though you already sold it.
That 2 weeks prior, the item had sold. So
good old eBay staying on top of things. Good job, eBay. We're proud of you.
I guess I will just say, hey, look out if you have Norwex. If you have that, be careful listing it. Go check your listings now. It apparently is a VERO, and I won't list any in the future.
It's just weird.
And if I win any more raffles, I will look for a different.
How long was it listed to? Like it didn't sell right away, did it?
Couple weeks.
Yeah, so it was listed for a couple weeks, and then it took them a couple weeks longer so almost a month basically before they even did anything. That's weird.
So I just found that an interesting, and I pass along the item anyway to anyone listening that the Norwex brand could be a VERO.
And it's such an inconsistent thing. Like I tell people don't mess with Whirlpool because I've been hit twice on that VERO. And other people, I've never had an issue. So I don't know what I did wrong. And mine were actual Whirlpool branded. They weren't fake or anything like that. But anyways, so yeah, I mean, but I got a VERO. I think you're like me. Like you'll never list a Norwex thing ever again. Like, not even gonna take a chance.
And being my first one, when I got the thing, and it's an all-official email from eBay, and it says, under the VERO program, I'm like, oh no, what did I list recently that would have been a problem?
Yeah.
And so being the first one, I was like, what did I do? I hope I don't get suspended as I read through this thing that they didn't shut down my store. And then when I got to what the actual item was, I was like, kooky. So I started to search back and so let's do a few more comments, Jimmy.
Yeah. I'm excited because the next comment's a fun one.
This is from Ray and/or Dustin over at the Nashville Flippers. Quote, the double decker is not part of the deal. So if you were listening to the show last week, again, Sonya in her new hometown has upset the people at the UDF or the United Dairy Farmers UDF is because she was picking out donuts and the lady thought she was trying to hide one of the double-decker donuts underneath the little papers that you get.
Dan, the answer man, sent me this picture of Sonya, wanted donut thief, right there. See that?
Yes. That's funny.
It's funny because Sonya's like, y'all just don't understand. Y'all just don't understand how mean she was to me.
They were accusing her. So yeah, that was a funny part. Yep. And then Jill's comment next.
Yes, I gotta know. I asked her for a second about this, but I gotta know more about this comment.
UDF is always Opal to me.
Yeah, and now, so I was like, did she spell something wrong there? Like, did she mean awful or
Opal? Opal was the name of an employee,
right?
That used to work there.
That's what she told me. Yeah.
And should I tell about Opal?
I mean,
Opal had an interesting.
Opal listens.
I don't know. She might. Opal, if you're listening, comment for next week. It was she was just an interesting soul. Very nice lady. Always, smile on her face. Very helpful. And a little bit of an older gal who had too young of a look for an older gal. Bright red hair. She usually had, colored.
You're gonna get yourself in the trouble with. No, it's fine.
I am. Well, there's something about that later in the comments about me talking about old ladies, but not that she was an old lady, but she had like 70s style.
She was hip, right? She didn't have a bad hip. She was just hip.
The bright blue eyeshadow that went all the way up to her eyebrows, and then come way out to the sides.
Character on the Drew Carey show. Remember the Drew Carey show?
Oh yes, that worked in the.
That's what that reminds me of when you say
Mimi.
That, right?
Was it Mimi?
Yeah.
Go look up Mimi. That's at least the makeup style. It wasn't anything else. But Opal was a super nice lady, and she was always fun to have back and forth with. And that's why Jill's memories of UDF, because Jill and I both used to work in the town that Jimmy lives in.
Right.
And so we were, familiar with all these locations and at least people from back then. So
yeah.
And then good buddy Len 5280 finds, he says, "Oh no, he wanted to move there. You can keep him. Besides, I get all the good deals from mine now, estate sale guy." So that comment had to do with when Jimmy was having technical difficulties, I put a plea out to the public, to Dan the Answer Man, to Len, to maybe Kristen, somebody from the Denver area, come and get Jimmy, take him back home. It's only been a week. I've had enough already. Can you come and
see how you are? You better hope you don't have technical difficulties, because let me tell you what, payback.
No, I've been enjoying having you here, Jimmy. It's been fun, but Len, apparently you're not wanted in Denver, or
he's going to all buying the estate sales and scooping up all. He sent me a picture the other day of all the toys he picked up.
It's given Len now an opportunity to get some stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm feeling his pain here when we're out to the sales, and Jimmy's just
Jimmy's picking from the car. He
just Jimmy's calling dibs from the car. We get there and he's like reaching in front, he's reaching around and he's taking stuff. And
hey, gotta be quick.
You do. I'm finding that out.
I don't mess around when it comes to picking.
It's
speaking of picking, I want to talk a little bit about next weekend.
Yes.
Next weekend is a big weekend out here in the Columbus area, right?
Well, a little south of Columbus, but all across the country, from Virginia to Illinois, I think is the National Road Route 40.
Yeah.
Like it's a big highway sale.
Have you ever been to it at all?
I have not. This is the first year that I even heard about it, because stuff like that. Now, after doing 127 last year for the first time as a reseller, having done the Route 30 sales, I've done Route 30 in the past, but not as a reseller, just because I'd like to go to yard sales. And so trying to hit those big highway sales this year is a focus. Community sales, citywide, and highway sales are the focus, because you get, rather than out sign chasing, which I found Jimmy and we have different terminology. Jimmy, okay. So in the comments, if you're just out, maybe you don't have listed sales that are on Facebook or Craigslist or whatever. Jimmy says he's just going to freestyle. That means he is out just looking for signs, driving the best neighborhoods that you know. I call it sign chasing. I just was chasing signs all morning.
Now I have to use sign chasing too because I say freestyle and Ken just starts rapping.
I don't.
I'm just like, come on, man.
Drop a load on me, Jimmy. Wait.
That's always his opening line, and it's awful, folks. You can't start a song with that. It's terrible.
So,
no,
so
but
yeah,
I want to do more of that. That's one of the draws to the east side of the country.
Yes.
Like that almost doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in Colorado. There's a lot of community sales that are really good, but there's no highway sales out there that and I've re-looked and researched, and there's just not any opportunities. So the second I saw, hey, this is only an hour from where I'm going to live in Ohio, and it's going to be 3 weeks after I get there, I will be there.
Yes. And so we got some plans, and it's like Wednesday through Sunday. So that's a lot of days. There's a lot of, Route 40 to cover. We've been talking with folks. We may even do a meetup. We talked with F&J or FJ Treasures. Frank and Janelle, who, by the way, I want to give them a shout out on there. If you don't follow FJ Treasures, go find their channel, follow them. Maybe we'll even link them down below. Their latest video that they showed.
They put out good videos, but this video is like exposing.
It's about bubble wrap and exposing maybe some,
something that needs to be addressed.
Yes, in the bubble wrap world, because we all know there's, what can go on in the world of bubble wrap.
The dark underworld of bubble wrap.
But go check out Frank and Janelle over at FJ Treasures. Watch that newest video about bubble wrap exposed, and it was really eye-opening, Jimmy. But they're going to come down from
they pop half the bubbles before they ship them.
That's what's exposed. Yeah,
there's just a guy in the basement.
Frank's down there in the basement at night, just pop, 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 pop. That may or may not be what the video is about. Yeah, but I
sarcasm in effect, gentlemen.
Yes. There you see, perfect callback. But they're thinking of coming down for Route 40, and we may get to or if anybody in the comments or hit Jimmy and I up on Instagram, either at Old School Flips or SSKPromo. If you're going to be doing the Route 40 sales through Ohio, we're looking for we have a tentative plan. Jimmy, I got some more info on that today, or at least some investigation I've done. But let us know where you're starting. Let us know where your area is, or if you want to go down, and we're going to try to do an informal meetup or not really with a location or any place like that. It's just like, hey, we're here.
We're just gonna drive by area and do the reseller wave, and that's it.
That's right. No, we don't follow up. Jimmy, we are the worst follow-up podcast.
We still don't have a reseller wave.
A reseller wave, we got to get that going. So if you want to rendezvous with us,
it's rendezvous.
That's the next comment from Caleb Norris over at the Old Pass, who is also with Chris Old School Picker, that they do the two old guys reseller,
two old guys in a basement talking to a microphone about.
Wait, that's us, Jimmy.
That's us. Oh, my bad.
Oh, they're gonna steal our name like ADH Dave stole my font.
Oh boy.
I meant to have my SSKPromo font that I've been using since like the 90s. All of a sudden I see Dave's got his new logo. I meant to have graphic ready. I meant to have graphic represent or proof of this, that I've been using this, and then Dave gets his new logo out there, and it's using like the exact same font as it was probably one of those subliminal things. He's got the headshot of the DOG. Do I have?
Sure. Oh yeah, okay. He does have that headshot.
I do have that one right here.
Sleeps with it over his bed every night. So yeah,
this font. If you're watching, I'm pointing to the SSKPromo that I've been using to a font. Dave's got his new logo out there now. Because didn't he call us out when we first started our podcast that we stole the Trash to Cash colors
logos? Yep.
And now it's like I see his new logo out, which is a cool looking logo. I gotta say. The way he designed it and stuff is a really cool
Dave.
ADH Dave, but he's got my font. Now it'll look like, because Dave's a bigger channel, and then people will see when I start to blow up right here soon, Jimmy, when I'm making videos and I'm blowing up, people are gonna go, oh, look at that. Ken stole Dave's font because it's such a cool font. Look, how long have I been doing this show? And look, everybody sees my cup constantly, which by the way, this week has some Coke Zero and cider. It's not fall.
Son of a mother.
But Jill was over at the Apple Hill Donuts. She got Apple Hill Donuts for a big memorial.
Apple Hill Donuts, y'all.
For our like a Memorial Day cookout that we had yesterday that we were at. So Jill bought me a gallon of cider. So even though it's not fall, man, it just took me back this morning. This morning I poured about half and half, a 50-50 ratio, and it was good. And so all day
or 50-50. Which one?
Either or, which is 6 and 1/2 dozen.
Yeah.
So
hey, real quick, Rendez Vos. I want to tell a story real quick. I'll tell this fast.
Yes, Rendez Vos.
That came from Sonya. Sonya's guilty of that one again. We were looking for SUVs, and this SUV rolls up next to us, and we're just watching them as they drive by, looking at what they look like and if we'd be interested in it. And this SUV parks next to us, and I didn't pay any mind. And Sonya's sitting next to me. She goes, "Rendez Vos, huh?" And I was like, "Huh?" She's all, "A Rendez Vos," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I look over at the SUV and I see the name of it, and I see it's a rendezvous. So that's where Rendez Vos came from. Caleb, in case you were wondering where
Rendez Vos making an old guy laugh, Jimmy, over there. And I looked it up. It is Two Old Guys Reselling Podcast. That is the official name.
Guys
they're about a half a dozen episodes in. Their latest one was a good one as well. So check them out. It's always good. But if anybody does want to Rendez Vos at the Route 40 sales, that's what we're talking about.
We're going to be doing a Rendez Vos down there.
We're going to be, if you have a good spot that we're looking for spots, or we got some places picked out, and just want to meet up with anybody.
A good spot to pick out there, let me know so I can pick from the car before you even get out of it.
Yeah, Jimmy will be there. If you say, oh, these sales start around 8, Jimmy will be there at like 7:15, 6:15 even. And he'll be knocking on doors. And, but it's so yes.
So what?
The Route 40 sales, that's what we were talking about. We're going to be hitting those this weekend, or this Wednesday through Sunday or whatever. Through Ohio anyway.
Are you going to hit every day?
I have a plan to. We're going to see. I know we're going to talk about that probably when we're done recording here.
All right. Then I want to say this next comment, because I wanted to do, I said, I want to try to get through all of them, because a lot of them were really good, and this one cracked me up. Andy Someta. By the way, Andy Someta is such a fun guy, and he listens to all the podcasts. He's always commenting on my videos. I want to thank him and give him a shout out. Andy Someta. I've been following Andy and vice versa forever on YouTube.
Yes.
And he's got a great sense of humor. He says, hit them with the Uno reverse card and tell them you don't consent to the double decker being part of the deal. And so he hit on that's his sense. He hit on 2 of our topics in that one comment right there. The guy that didn't consent. I went back and I just edited that out. I had to edit that out of the last video. I don't consent. I don't do the impression. There you go.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. That's where the gentleman comment came from Larry way out one is excuse me, gentlemen, we don't consent to being filmed with this big boy chest out. Yeah, that's
all right. So Andy doubled up with that, and then the double decker donut that Sonya tried to sneak out of the UDF. So yeah, that's a fun. I like that comment. That was a funny comment.
And so we touched on this one. I'm going to jump into a few of them. I'm going to jump up to Jimmy to Aaron Rebel Junk because I'm going to come back around to Chris. Yeah. Aaron Rebel Junk says, "So which one of you will post the garage sale footage first? I'm betting on Jimmy." To which I did reply to that comment when it come out. I'm betting on Jimmy too, and Jimmy's video today that we talked about over on his Old School Flips channel is the one that was from the sales that we went to. That I need to put out the what is the word that I want? Not that it's not the companion or the point like see the other side,
vantage point.
Yeah, another vantage point of
I don't know. I don't do.
Yeah. But yeah, Aaron won.
Jimmy won.
Bet on Jimmy. I bet on Jimmy. Jimmy's got his video out first.
Larry wanted to take odds. Want to know the odds on you?
Any odds on taking Ken?
They would have paid like 200-300 to 1 or something like that.
You would have been a rich man.
Yeah.
No, you'd have been broke. That's right. You wouldn't have been a rich man.
Yeah, you wouldn't have won. You had no chance.
Vegas wouldn't even take that.
Betting on the Browns to win the Super Bowl every year.
Oh, hey, I can keep saying on paper, we look good. But so Chris Cajun Reseller, he's always a good. I love Chris. I'm hoping that we're gonna get to see him, maybe some Route 30 action.
Yeah.
But he told me good advice that I should have cashed in on my March Madness winnings. While we're picking, I see Jimmy keeps picking up all of this stuff, but he seems to conveniently forget each time.
I mean, what's something that I paid $5 for that Odyssey putter?
Yeah, $5 for. He could have given me. He could have been like, "Here, dude, look at this."
Yeah,
but
I gotta find the right thing. I gotta find the right thing.
And then I'm gonna jump all the way to the top. Another comment from Chris Cajun Reseller. He says, "You would think." Now, I agree. You would think that Jimmy would have given me one of those board games for being his chauffeur and helping him load all of it, because that's what happened. Like that first sale was
we're still working
down
through
rain.
Them. We're still working through them. I got to find the lowest value one to get.
He's trying to take out, all the good ones and stick me like, oh, here, you can have the Uno reverse game that
goes for. No, I'm going to give you Wineopoly.
Yes, that's what I'm going to end up. It'll actually cost me money.
Yeah. The incomplete. That deal, while it was good, there's a couple really good games in there. Some of them, they're $15, $20 games. It's still going to be really good. But there's only a couple, maybe 3 really good games in that deal.
Yeah.
So, and we're still working.
I sold a really good fantasy board game this week.
What did you sell?
Good pick. It was called Seventh Continent. It sold for like $55. I paid $3 for it at the sale that, the aforementioned Aaron Rebel Junk. I had talked about that sale that I went to and sold a bunch of electronics and stuff.
Yeah.
I picked that game up there, and so it sold pretty quickly.
Seventh Continent.
Yeah.
Huh, never heard of it. Is it?
It was complete. It wasn't a fantasy game, I guess. It was
like a strategy.
One of those strategy like sort of game.
Type strategy game, maybe.
I believe so. Yeah. Big heavy ass box too. I think that thing weighed like
take
7
that to
pounds.
The CVS, ship it UPS.
Yes. Near 2 o'clock.
Don't have Sonya take it.
Not before 2 o'clock.
Not before 2 o'clock, and take the right car.
So here's a couple of comments too. Last one from Chris. He said, "Did we all need him to come back to do the get the intro correct?"
Yeah,
because last week I wasn't. Yeah. I was distracted in the beginning because I was watching the Trash to Cash podcast before Jimmy started the recording.
Yeah, and so Chris lives while we're recording the podcast, Ken.
Well, I was already watching it. If you would have been on time for the recording last week, I wouldn't have already focused my attention.
Why was I late again?
I don't know me.
What was that? That was the first time we recorded down here. That's why. And I had my camera. My camera and my mic would not sync up to StreamYard. I had to unplug everything and plug it back in and restart.
I had to occupy my time with something, so I started watching. They were doing that live, but
a lot.
Anyway, so Chris, you are welcome back. You are welcome back anytime, my friend, to the podcast.
Speaking
and
of
to get the
watching Trash to Cash, the next comment is about how we started the video.
Yeah, and if we had Chris as a good guest before, but Emma Ellie Mom one says that you fellas don't need Kevin. Y'all need a woman to keep you two in line. Because we talked, that because the live last week they had Harry Tornado on there, and Kevin wasn't there, so we were like, "Hey, maybe Kevin will come
got in trouble too." This is the one that got you in the trouble.
Always a fun, show. Surely Ken didn't call someone an old lady, and someone is going to box his ears for him one day. I'm still laughing about Ken being a necrophiliac. Necrophiliac. Awesome. Yeah, you have to go way back in the comments to figure that. Narcolepsy. I had necrophilia rather than
they're busting your chops and not mine. Thank you, Emma.
Yes, I did call some old ladies. Hey, sometimes old ladies are just old ladies, Yep. It is. What does this mean, it is what it is.
Someone is going to box his ears. I want to know what that means. Like, what does it mean to box someone ears?
Just rough me up,
like turn him into like cauliflower ear, like
yes. Cut me, Mick. Cut my ear off, Mick.
I got a cauliflower. Cut me.
Yeah, Adrian. Yeah.
That's terrible. These are like the worst impressions ever.
And Jeff Oakes from back in Score. Another friend. Great show, guys. Can't wait to hit the sales and lunch at White Castle with you in Michigan next month. So Jeff kind of splits time between out in the Denver area. He gets to Michigan or comes back to visit in Michigan.
His family's up there. His mom's up there. So he goes up there a lot to visit. And so we're trying to see, because it's only 2 hours, just over 2 hours from here. So kind of hoping to, when he's out there, maybe make a trip up there and hang out with him.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We're going to try to coordinate that.
Yeah. Joe and Nicole over at I'd Flip That. I hope Ken, here again, there's a reoccurring theme here.
I'm in the trouble.
Ken is paying you, Jimmy, on how to really pick at sales. It looks like you schooled him in the weekend that we went out together. And
what are your thoughts on that?
What are my thoughts?
I hope
here's my thoughts.
I preloaded, like I told you, I'm gonna be picking fast, right? Like I told you.
It's not. I wouldn't say that I got schooled as much as I got educated. Because
there's a difference.
Well, no, there is. Getting schooled is like, man, you were schooled. You know, it has different connotation to I got an education. Some of the items that Jimmy was picking up were things that I would have just looked past, not even thinking that they had value, or not items that I didn't want to ship. I would not think to pick up big folds, great big huge box of floor mats.
Right.
And a couple of different deals on floor mats that you picked up. And, but then when I see the value of that side, they wouldn't have even registered to me as something to get.
Like those weather techs that I picked up, they're already in a box, man. Like I literally just have to slap a label on that box and send it out the door.
And those are part of that video, that latest video that you have out. And so, but it was where I guess if I got schooled was, we pick differently. We pick a lot of the same items. So a lot of the things that Jimmy picked up, it wasn't because I didn't know those items that I didn't, that I wouldn't have picked them up. They were the same sort of items. It's just, he got to them first. Yeah. It was, when you go to a sale and you're together, one guy goes left, one guy goes right, and it's kind of a luck of the draw. So, when there was something good on it, say if I went left, if there was something good on the left side, I was probably getting that. If it was on the right side, Jimmy was
going
to get
the board game sale. And,
yeah.
I have a mentality that I don't have the most control over. And it's not just wanting to buy them all. I want to have that YouTube video is going to be called I Bought It All. Yeah. And I want to have that moment where you catch, and it goes hand in hand. Like, it's not like I'm just thinking about the video, and it's not like I'm just thinking about eBay. I'm thinking about both in that moment. And I'm like, here, like, my mind processed it so fast. I feel like I was like, I want to buy it all for eBay, but I also want to catch that moment where I say, I'll take it all.
Yeah.
So, like, in my mind, I thought about both those things like at the exact same time. So that's why I just said it. Like, it was not even something that I thought about a lot. It was just like, boom, I want this moment right now, and I'm saying it right now. I'll buy them all.
Well, and when it was turned out to be, a good deal, and especially with all the games, I think we had talked about that last week. When you get in there and you see these games that are probably have some value, and there's $1 stickers on them, and at the time you thought there was 6 or 7 games,
right?
And and you said I'll take them all, and then there was like the guys, don't forget the tub. There's like 20 more games underneath the table, and you work that deal, but Jimmy is I am not paying Jimmy for this education.
No, I think he said I'm supposed to pay him, right? Is that what he said?
Yeah, at least a $5 item that's worth something, not the ones.
Oh, I see. I hope. But I think we're.
So, yeah, we picked a few days. We didn't go out this weekend.
No.
You went down to Columbus the one day, and I hit sales around here, and imagine that I was able to pick up some stuff, Jimmy. And
I want to see what you found. Maybe there'll be a video. Oh, you're saying that because I wasn't with you.
Nothing stellar. There was not this weekend that I just did sign chasing mostly because there was not. We had talked about that. One of the reasons you went down south, was because there wasn't any sales listed. Well, when I got up that morning, there was a bunch of them that popped up, and there were signs all over town.
Nice.
And so I hit quite a few, but nothing. I didn't get any grails or anything, exciting.
Yeah. I mean,
but I got profit.
Ken lives in a bigger town. I mean, my town is so small. Yeah. There was all weekend long. There was 4 sales in my town all weekend. Yes. I hit all 4 of them. They were all terrible.
So that's all the comments, Jimmy, and we appreciate all of the comments this week, and
we definitely want to show that we appreciate all the comments, and I hate when I don't have time to get to respond to them. So I was like,
yes,
what better way than to do it in the podcast? Just respond to them in the podcast.
Yes.
So
yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I appreciate it. I enjoy reading the comments, and I do comment. Sometimes I try to get in there, and this week was just busy. Next week is going to be super busy with being out of town. So again, throw in the comments there if you're doing Route 40.
Yeah, and hit us up on Instagram.
And maybe I should be paying you, Jimmy, but apparently I'm a rip off.
What does that mean?
That's you ever get one of those?
I thought like my computer froze or something. You turn to Max.
You ever get one of those helpful buyers? Those helpful buyers where you list an item, and they're not going to buy your stuff, but they feel the need to send you a message to tell you what's wrong with your item. So.
I like the ones that actually know what they're talking about and do help me when I have something wrong.
Yes.
But yes, I know the ones you're talking about.
I have had some people help and say, hey, you either miss this or this is listed wrong.
Right.
You might want to check. And it's like, oh man, thank you for that.
Yeah,
and but then you get sometimes I don't want to offend anybody here, but
you're going to do it. Just do it.
Oh yeah. Sometimes
tear the Band-Aid off.
Car guys drive me a little nuts. Now, I'm not talking. Now, listen, I'm not talking about like the guy that wants to go, huh?
Yeah, restoration.
Yeah. Well, no, listen, I would never think that restoration would do that. But I'm not talking about the guys that want to sit out in the parking lot on a Saturday with their 57 Chevy at a car show. I'm talking like the motorheads that know like everything, and they're going to give you like they're going to give you the factory part number for the bumper bracket on a 78 Ford Pinto wagon. It's and they know everything. So I get these. I have these spark plugs, right? These are old Champion spark plugs.
Yeah, you showed them to me.
Yeah, and they are still in the original boxes. They're still wrapped inside in the original like waxy sort of paper that they used to use. Wow. They are very old. So I have them listed as that they are vintage, and at the end that they're NOS, they're new old stock.
New old stock. All right.
Okay, that's what they are. And then I have them listed now. In the research that I could do, I have them listed at a very high price for this set of 4.
All right.
I actually have them listed like $400, $399.99.
Wow, $100 a plug.
Yes, because I've seen individual prices and stuff, but it's also one of those things I listed high because there is not another set of 4
anywhere else. Yep,
in there, and so I figured I have best offer on. I'm probably going to get some offers if people even get past that $399 price, and I'm going to find out what are these really worth, and if they're not selling as quickly as I think that they are, I'm going to lower that price on. But I get one of these helpful buyers that has to send me a message and tell me now when I raise my voice a little bit, that's all caps. Everything is okay. So he says, sorry, the plugs are not vintage or NOS. Okay. I don't know, first of all, how we can say they're not vintage or how they're not new old stock. So that's how he starts out. And then he says, you can go to any Napa auto store and buy them a hell of a lot cheaper than your off price. The pictures you see are the real ones from 1928. Okay, so they also took the time to go out and find other listings and send me pictures of spark plugs that are not the ones that I have listed. And that ones from 1928. I never said anything that these were from 1928. I just listed them as vintage and new old stock.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing why I keep doing the thing. He felt the need to put on my 12 capital P's. He put at the end RI 12 capital P's, my rip off price. Okay, I'm going to start a national campaign. Okay, my national campaign. Maybe I'll have signs up here. I'm going to make T-shirts.
Oh boy, he's going all out, folks. We already know.
Here's what it is I want. Okay, how about just don't buy it? That's my campaign, right? Just don't buy it. What do you feel the need? This was not helpful. It wasn't like, oh, hey, if you would have listed these, here's the date on those, or you have this picture is off or something. That's helpful. Okay. And wouldn't also, if you said something was would you ever say, man, that price was a real rip? No, you would say that price is a rip off. You would probably have a few more R's, a lot of I's, and a couple of P's,
So he's like, not even doing it. Yeah.
And so it's like that, it's like, that's not helpful. Okay, how about just don't buy it. Just move on.
You
go to the next listing.
Just go to eBay and start looking up stuff and just messaging people, telling them
yeah, I just copy this, guys. Your item is not vintage. It's not new old stock, and you have a rip off price. And I'll give them the store. Maybe
apparently it's something fun to do because a lot of people do. So maybe you'll have to find enjoyment in doing that.
Can you go to the Napa store and buy these? They're an older for a Ford Model A and B, and it's like yes. You can go buy.
I got you.
An equivalent plug that would work in the vehicle,
Right.
But you're not going to find one in the boxes, in the cellophane that's the original, that are unused.
Right.
You're not going to find that. And so some of the car guys, the motorheads that want to do the, have original stuff. And again, I never said it was original from 1928 when the car was done. I said, these are just vintage, new, old stuff.
Yeah.
Now I haven't got a whole lot of interest on those. So my price may be way, 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 way too high.
Yeah.
And I'll after they've been listed a couple weeks, because I had another set of spark plugs that I got some interest on right away, that they were listed just a little shy, like 189, 190.
Wow.
And I got a couple of offers that were lower than that. And I thought, oh, these plugs are going to sell quick. And so I didn't take the offers. Yeah. And now I'm mad because I could have had, $130 in my pocket. When I didn't pay anything, I got these.
But it's hard when there's nothing to compare to. When there's not a lot to compare to, it's always difficult.
Yes. And so, I'll lower these plugs. But yeah, thanks, helpful buyer.
So are you going to be able to fit all those P's on the t-shirt is what I want to know. That you're going to make.
Well, maybe I should run it down rather than across.
Maybe
rip off.
Yeah.
And so, that drives me nuts. When the buyer, some people are very, very helpful, and other people just want to show their
better to do
dominance and their logic. And he took time to go find pictures at other stuff of things that weren't even what I was listing.
Everybody go to Ken's store and find a listing.
Just find a listing and complain at it. You'll find me at SSKPromo,
folks.
We'll link the store down below and stuff. But so, Jimmy, happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you.
We're going to wrap this one up. Happy birthday, everybody. Hey, if you're going to leave any comment this week, well wishes to Jimmy, and happy birthday, and his first birthday in Ohio. And happy Memorial Day. If you guys are still around here this late in the video, happy Memorial Day. And thank you to all the servicemen and women for what you've done and what you do for our country. And we will catch you next time on the Reseller Clickbait Podcast. Keep those comments coming.